Kia ora, my name is Erin Harrington. I am a senior lecturer in English and cultural studies, and I also teach a bit of film. And I am very interested in this wonderfully graffitied piece of a desk from this space right here in the Arts Centre. Now this fragment is covered with an extraordinary amount of either historically significant scratchings or defacement, depending on how it is you would like to describe it. So we have people's names, there are dates for instance, some of it's dug in really, really deep. So this would have been a little bit that sat on top of the little desk piece where people would have laid their notes or their books, and perhaps flipped up to let people in, as it's very, very tight in there. And of course, sitting here for many hours, I think you can tell from some of the scratchings that this might have been maybe a chemistry or a physics lecture, given some of the little diagrams in there. I like it for a few reasons. One is that in cultural studies, which I teach, we often talk about how culture isn't just, the fancy paintings that we put on the wall. It's not just opera, it's not just all these highly significant things, but it's the stuff that we do every day. And this is a really good example of everyday student culture, and it's a type of everyday student culture that has lasted throughout various different eras. You see this as much in the desks that we have at university in Ilam and elsewhere today. But the other thing too is that this is a piece of wood that has sat in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people. That is a way of thinking about the movement of bodies through space, the different types of people who come in to study. And some of the people who have carved their names on here are also very significant to the university. One of the names we have over here, marked 1891 to 92, is J. Erskine, for whom we have the Erskine Building, the Erskine Fellowship. So Erskine was a physicist, he was an electrical engineer, he was also pretty good on the stock market, and that meant that by the time that he had passed away, he had quite a substantial amount of money that he ended up bequeathing to the university. Some of the other fancy names we have on here is J. Height, which is James Height, for whom our big central library is named. Now Height is someone who was a real pioneer, I guess, in terms of the way that universities were run in New Zealand. He was just an absolute man of letters. He was a terrific teacher. He was someone who was very interested in politics and history and economics, and was known as an exceptional teacher amongst other things too. But he was also the rector for Canterbury for a while, and they were also students at the same time as a number of very notable students such as Ernest Rutherford and Aparanangata, both of whom went on to receive knighthoods too. So a lovely little indication of the fact that even the biggest and brightest of us are the same reprobates as everybody else. One of the most endearing, perhaps, aspects of this artefact, this piece of wood, is a quote that sits along here, which is "All hope abandon ye who enter here," which is from Dante's Inferno, and it is what was inscribed across the gates to hell. This sort of thing is really useful when we teach things like cultural studies, everyday culture, pop culture, the way that we might think about the culture of students. This is the sort of thing that really embodies and makes concrete some of those comments that we might have about student culture. The sorts of things that might change and stay the same, the way that we might make our mark quite literally upon the environments within which we learn, that we have this long lineage of students and student culture that might shift and change and mutate, but at the same time still hold perhaps some type of essence, whatever that essence might be.